guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am filming my if I only could keep one tag. I have seen this tag going around and I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but as you guys know, my makeup was like all packed up, so I thought it would be better to wait until I had access to my whole collection, because with a tag like this, you really want to like open your drawers and look at everything you have. Especially there was a couple categories where it was really hard to pick just one, and so you really want to kind of look through what you own. So anyway, that is what we're talking about today. I have a whole bunch of products laid out in front of me, and I basically have one for each category. So we're going to be talking about if the rest of my collection disappeared and I could only keep one item from each category, what would they be? So these are my absolute favorite products of the products that I own. This tag has been going around for a while, so I'm sure you guys have already seen it. You're probably already familiar. But if you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I really hope you enjoy watching this video today. I do post new content 6 days a week, and I hope that you choose to subscribe while you're here. But let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, so I figured we'll start with the, when you're applying your makeup, how you begin the process. The first thing I usually apply is a primer. So this was really tough for me to pick, because with a facial primer, I use my primers the way that I use my skincare. I look at my skin to see what it needs in order to pick which primer. So because I have combo skin, some days I might need a mattifying primer, some days I might want a illuminating primer or a hydrating primer, and sometimes I need pore filling primer. So it depends on what my skin is doing, but if I could only use one primer for the rest of my life, I thought I would choose this one because I love this primer and I feel like it works pretty good on my skin no matter what it's doing. This is from Becca. This is their Backlight Primer. It is an illuminating primer, but it also is very hydrating at the same time. So it is normally better for more dry skin, but I can still use this when my skin is more oily. So I went ahead and picked this one as, the only one I would keep. All right, the next category, this was so easy for me. I knew right away what I would answer for foundation, because this is definitely my ride or die foundation. I love this one. I try to use it sparingly because I go through it so quickly when I, use it, because I want to use it like every single day. I would use nothing else but this if I could afford to. But this is from Estee Lauder. It's the Double Wear Foundation. The reason I like this so much is because I do like a more full coverage. That's just my preference. I typically wear more full coverage. Although today I'm only wearing a powder foundation, which is very unusual for me, but typically I go for full coverage. But I also like something that doesn't get thick and cakey, and it's very difficult to find a full coverage that's not dry and thick looking on the skin. But this one looks gorgeous. I don't know, there's something about the way this foundation applies, especially when I use it with a dampened sponge. If I apply it with a damp sponge, it just looks gorgeous. It does not look heavy, it does not look thick. And it gives me a beautiful amount of coverage. So this for sure would be if I could only ever buy one foundation for the rest of my life, it would be this one. All right, the next category was again a very easy answer for me. There's a few that I was like, oh, I know exactly what it is. And there's other ones that I had to really look through my drawer and figure it out. But my favorite powder for sure. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. I have been using this for years, probably like 8 years. I love this powder foundation so much. Sometimes I wear it totally on its own, and other days I use it to set my foundation. This is the powder I carry in my purse, so I have one in my purse, and then I also keep one in my collection for use here when I'm getting ready. But let's say I'm out and about and I feel like my makeup is kind of wearing down weird, I will apply this over the top. So this is great for just like touching up. It's also really good just on its own too. It gives a beautiful finish and look to the skin, and actually a pretty decent amount of coverage for a powder foundation. So there's something about this powder that I love, and I've gone through so many of these I lost count. Plus you can back to MAC it once you run out, but I love this powder. It's one of my favorite items from MAC for sure, and it's something that I will continue to repurchase. All right, the next category was concealer. I actually have a few concealers that I would consider like my absolute favorites. So this was a little tricky, but if I could only pick one, I would probably go ahead and pick this one here from Makeup Forever. This is their full coverage concealer. I really enjoy this concealer a lot. It just gives you a beautiful amount of coverage without getting like creasy and thick underneath the eye. So I have pretty dark circles underneath my eye, so I do need a good amount of coverage, but at the same time, you know, I'm in my mid-30s now, so I don't want anything that's too thick and dry because it will accentuate the fine lines and wrinkles underneath the eye. And this is the concealer I have on today underneath my eye, but I just really like it. It just is very creamy, very hydrating, and really, really good coverage. So this for sure would be, if I could only pick one, it would be this guy for sure. All right, so let's talk about highlighter next. This was a category that I actually had a difficult time picking just one. I probably wanted to pick about 10. The thing about highlighters is that there are so many different like colors and intensities for highlighters. They're all so different. What I own in my collection is also different, and I have so many that I absolutely love. But I figured if I could only use one highlighter for the rest of my life, I would want it to be one that will universally look good with no matter what eye look, no matter what blush I have on, it's just gonna look good. And that's something that can be more subtle, or you can build up to be more intense. So that way you can kind of make it fit whatever makeup look you have going on without changing up the actual highlighter. So that was the criteria I was looking for when I was looking through my highlighters. And for that reason, I had to pick another MAC item. Actually, this is their MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle. This is a gorgeous highlighter. This is one of those old school cult classic products that I've had for years and I still really enjoy. It is a very subtle kind of a champagne gold color, but it looks great on my skin tone, and it is subtle, but you can build it up to get a little bit more intensity if you want to, or you can foil it with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. So for that reason, I felt like this was the most versatile highlighter that I had that I could really use in so many different ways, that I picked this as my, if I could only pick one. All right, next let's talk about blush. This was another one that was pretty easy for me. I opened my drawer and I narrowed it down right away to one of the Clinique Cheek Pops, and then I narrowed it down to this shade in particular because this shade is, again, a universal kind of color that if I could only wear this color for the rest of my life, I know it will work with everything because it's a really good nude. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, so you can wear it with almost any look. And this is the Nude Pop shade, by the way, from the Clinique Cheek Pop line. But I really just love these. And also, you do get quite, I know the pan looks small, but you get a ton of product in here because you do not need very much with these. They're very they're very tight packed in here. So this would last a very, very long time before you'd have to repurchase. So yeah, that was my pick for blush. I think I could definitely just use this blush for the rest of my life and be okay with it. Although I would miss my other blushes. All right, and then bronzer. This was another pretty easy. I kind of went between this one and my Marc Jacobs, was it Tantastic? I really love that one as well, but this one is more affordable, so that's why it beat out the Marc Jacobs one. But I love the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. This is just a really, really good bronzer. By the way, I have the shade which is just called Bronzer, which is the deeper of the two. They have the one that's a little light bronzer, and then this one is just called Bronzer. But I think it's a beautiful bronzer. You can use it, at least on my skin tone, I can use it to contour with, or I can use it just to bronze up my face, and I just feel like it's a great color. It's easy to blend. Pretty much everything you would want in a bronzer, so I would definitely pick this as my top choice for bronzers. All right, now I don't know if this was cheating or not, but I went ahead and said, like, if I had to narrow this down, and this was all the makeup I could keep forever, I also wanted to pick a face palette. So I don't know if that's cheating or not, but I'm gonna do it. So if I could only pick one face palette, I have a whole drawer full of face palettes. Some of them have just highlighters, some of them have just bronzers, some of them have a mixture of everything, some are just blushes, but this one from Nars is the one that I would pick. This is the Steven Klein palette. It was limited edition, but Nars is always coming out with these limited edition cheek palettes. I would pick this as my only face palette because it's very versatile. So you get 4 blushes in here. You have the full, not a full size, but a really good size of the Laguna bronzer from Nars, which is one of my favorite bronzers. And then you have a contour and a highlight in here as well. So I picked this one because I like the formula of the Nars cheek products, but also I like the versatility in this palette. So it'd give me a few more cheek options, if that's not cheating. All right. Let's move on to the eye products now. I have quite a few eye products, so I think we'll go ahead and talk about the brow product next because I know this is not going to surprise any of you. You guys all know I love my Brow Wiz from Anastasia, and I do use the shade Caramel, by the way, but for sure if I can only pick one brow product, it would be this one. This is basically the only brow product that I use now. I just have a few other brow products that I've either gotten in BoxyCharms or in gratis and things like that, when I do receive those products for free, I will use them up, but I don't purchase any other brow products anymore. But this one is the only one that I purchase now with my own money because it's the only one that I really just love. I love it. It's so easy to use. I love the way it looks in my eyebrows. I love the shade. I feel like it's the perfect shade for me. So that is why this was not hard for me to pick. All right, for eyeliners, I picked one liquid and one pencil. Again, I hope it's not cheating, but that's what I did. So for the liquid liner, I would definitely go with the Physicians Formula Eye Booster liquid liner. This is my absolute all-time favorite liquid liner. There are other ones that I've tried that I like, but this one is just so easy to use. It just glides right on the eye. It's very ultra black. I get the shade ultra black, by the way, but it is a very saturated black, and it glides on. You don't have that problem with it like layering weird where it pulls it up when you layer it. It doesn't do that. The wand is the applicator is an actual brush tip applicator, so it's very flexible, easy to work with, and I just really like this one. So for sure that would be my pick for a liquid liner. And then for a pencil liner, I went ahead and picked the Urban Decay 24/7 Waterline Pencil in Legend. And again, the reason behind this is because I feel like it's the most versatile. It's one of the only liners that I can use in my waterline and not have it irritate my eyes, but you can also smudge it out on your lash line if you want like an actual lash line liner. So I feel like this one would give me the most versatility, and because it's just a black, it would go with the most different looks. And if I wanted a different color liner, I could just use one of my eyeshadows from my eyeshadow palette. So that's why I went ahead and picked this for my pencil liner. All right, speaking of eyeshadows, if I could only pick one eyeshadow palette, it would have to be this guy here from Lorac. You guys know the Lorac Pro eyeshadow formula is my favorite, but this palette, the Mega Pro number 2, I feel like is my favorite of all of the Pro palettes from Lorac. And the reason is because of the shades in here. The shades are gorgeous, and I love the variety. You have both warm and cool tones in here. It's very, very versatile, but there's so many neutrals and some pops of color too, but it's just one of those really usable palettes where you have like every color you would need. And I'll give you guys a close-up. And every time I pull this into my everyday makeup drawer, I end up gravitating towards using this and never wanting to touch anything else. I just really love this palette. I'm very inspired by the shades in here, and I always come up with very creative things from this palette. So if I could only pick one eyeshadow palette, it would have to be this guy. I feel like I could get the most use and different looks from this guy here. All right, again, I don't know if this is cheating, but I did also pick a single eyeshadow if I could only have one single eyeshadow, and I went ahead and picked out this Bodyography glitter pigment because I would want some glitter still for my eyes, and I love the way that these apply. They are so easy to work with. I did grab the shade Sparkler because I feel like it's the most neutral. It's just like a really good champagne gold shade. I'll give you guys a swatch here. So that's it right here on my hand. It's just so easy to work with, and I feel like this would go well with a lot of the shades from that Pro palette, so I picked that. If I could only pick one single eyeshadow for my collection, it would have to be that one. All right, and then for mascara, this was really tricky, you guys, because I have a lot of mascaras that I really like, but I also really enjoy layering mascara, so I might go in with one and then add another one on top of it, but I rarely use just like one formula. But I was looking through my drawer and I was like, you know, if I had to only pick one, I probably would say it would be the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. I just really like this one because it gives me a good amount of volume without getting clumpy, and it gives me length at the same time. So it's the most like all-in-one mascara I have found. It was tricky though because, like I said, I really have so many that I do enjoy using, but if I could only pick one, I think it would be this one. Alright, last up we have some lip products to talk about. So I did pick a liquid lipstick, a standard lipstick, and then a lip gloss. So let's start with the regular lipstick. If I could only pick one lipstick to use, this was hard, but I had to pick the Nars Audacious lipstick in the shade Anna. I love the shade, first of all, but I also love the formula of these. They're pretty long wearing for a standard lipstick and very comfortable as well. So it's hard to find both of those in a lipstick. And I just love this color. There's something about this color that I feel like looks good with so many different looks. And yeah, that was really difficult to pick just one, but if I had to go with just one lipstick, it would be NARS Audacious Anna. All right, for liquid lipsticks, this is kind of surprising. I didn't even realize it, but I actually picked another NARS lip product, and this is their Power Pigment Lip in the shade American Woman. The reason I picked this, it is fairly comfortable for a liquid lipstick. It's not as drying as some of the other formulas I have tried, but it's not the most comfortable either. I feel like it's kind of right in the middle, but this shade is so easy to wear, and I feel like it looks good with so many different looks. And then it's different enough from Anna that if those were the only lip products I had, I feel like I would still have some versatility there. So that is why I picked this one. I also really like the applicator because it has just basically comes to a point. It's so easy to apply this. You can get a really precise application from this, and for a liquid lipstick, that's important. So I really like this color. I really like the formula. And if I could only pick one liquid lipstick to use for the rest of my life, I would pick that. All right, the very last product, the last category is lip gloss. Again, this was a little difficult, but I was trying to kind of factor in what I had already picked there and pick something a little different, something that would work with those colors at the same time. So I picked this Grande Lips. It's a lip plumping gloss, and I just grabbed the clear one because I feel like I could layer it over the other two or wear it on its own. And these plump so good. I don't need to swatch this because it literally is just clear. But these do a really good job of plumping your lips and giving you a very full lip look. So I really, really enjoy the formula of these. I do have a couple other shades because it came as a set, but I figured the clear one would probably be the most versatile, so I could kind of mix it with the other lip colors or wear it on its own. But yeah, that is the last product. So those are all the products I would pick if I could only pick one from each category. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video today. I would love to hear what your guys' picks were. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.